Hey there, friend. Grab a drink and slide on into the Weasel News Podcast with your host, Seth Blackwood. This episode is brought to you by Vince's Vendetta Gun Store in Paleto. Vote for Vince 2020 Mayor of Los Santos.
Right, welcome everybody to the very first Current State podcast. Today we have our co-host Kellerman over here. We have our two lovely guests, Dill Lost and Vince Williams. How about you introduce yourself to the audience, guys?
Hello, I am Vince Williams. I am the proud initiative taker of Form C. I'm a retired mechanic and I currently live my old days on my ranch.
Hey, I'm Dale Lost. I help Vince out in his ranch, and I've also got a Form C.
You also got a Form C deal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's one of the things we wanted to talk to you guys about is Form C. Over the past 2-3 months, it has been a revolutionary idea, and I believe, Vince, that you were one of the main contributors to the cause. Can you explain why and what Form C is and why you're supporting that cause?
Yes, so Form C is a initiative to help citizens like me that have reformed themselves to stay on the right path of justiceness and be a good civilian and have some incentive to do so.
So what were your initial charges, if I may ask?
Well, I got my charge that led up to the removal was an incident where I defended myself against a car thief who was about to run me over. So, I took out my gun and I opened fire, but the police hiding, they saw that and they charged it as murder first degree. But I still deny that it was murder first degree. It was always self-defense.
Like, how long were you even sitting for that?
Too long, man, too long. Every minute was too long because I was innocent.
Okay. And how long did it take you to actually get that Form C?
Well, that's another thing, because my journey started about in April, I would say. When I first came up with the idea, it was first like just a dream that I come up with. If you're as old as me, you start having weird daydreams and, you come up with this crazy stuff. So I was like, why the hell not, I need to get this.
Why is the gun so important in that case, if you just want to live your days?
Well, I personally do not believe in violence or the use of guns. However, I do see Form C as a way for society to accept me back.
So it's not as much for the guns; it's more as a way to be accepted back into society.
It is for me, yes, because I haven't bought a single gun since I've gotten it, and I've had it for 3 months now.
Do you feel that that even though you had this Form C, that people treated you differently afterwards?
Of course. I had some. I will not give their names on this podcast because it will be a bit mean. But I had some law enforcement officers come up to me and call me a criminal, even though I had reformed myself, and I turned another page in my book.
And is like Form C something like on paper, or is it on your record? Like, how can cops know that you're an applicant and even part of the Form C?
Well, it's just like a normal gun license. It's the same as yours, but mine will say Form C.
Okay. And Dil, what did you do? To go to lose
Apparently, felony evaded. I just didn't see the siren. Got chucked in jail, treated like a criminal.
Yeah, and what's that?
And that robbed me from my right to defend myself.
What happened to you in jail?
C. Nothing in jail. It was quite pleasant. Made some friends in there.
Is this where you met Vince?
No, I didn't meet Vince in jail. Met Vince through my brothers.
The Lost Brothers?
Yep. Ironically,
know.
we weren't that long. So they've gone back to England now.
Oh, so you're formerly English.
Yep.
Coming from an English background, do you know how is your view on guns, and how has that changed being from a country where guns are not allowed?
I think guns are fantastic. Guns are great. Back home, my family used to have them on their farm, you know, and that's where I had a fascination with animals and horses, and we were allowed guns in private property to defend the property and also go hunting. So, women here, it wasn't strange at all. It was almost more needed, you know.
But do you understand that other people that didn't have the background such as yours, that they do feel that it is different being there, that being in a country where there are guns allowed and where the guns are seemingly everywhere? Do you understand that other people do have a problem, or at least it's not that easy for them to integrate into a society where that is allowed?
Yeah, I don't know why they've got a problem with it. They're probably just a bit soft, you know.
Okay, so guns are only for the strong.
I wouldn't say the strong. I'd say guns are for both. Obviously, you don't go buy a gun if you're not mentally sane, but they used to protect you, you know.
Did you ever have to do a mental test before you get your gun license at Mission Row?
I didn't have to do a mental test, no, thankfully.
So that means that every psychopath could get a gun, right?
They could, I suppose. Yeah. I've not had any problems with that in my family, so hopefully we're good.
I think that's the topic of many discussions, isn't it? That you have to need that right now. We need guns to defend ourselves against guns, and that the guns are so easy to be supplied with that even with a Form C, it is possible and it is needed because of the fact that there are so many guns in the city.
Yeah, but you gotta look at the ratio of people who have a Form C that lose it again against the people that have a Form A that lose it again. Like, the problem is if you say that people are they can get a gun too easy, is at Form A, not at Form C. Form A would be like if you are just new in town, want a gun, you can get it.
Hello?
Hey.
I don't think. I think the issue is more that you need Form C to defend yourself, other than than it is that easy to get it. Because I believe Form C is much harder to get than an actual Form A.
It's a lot harder to get. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's a lot harder to get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wouldn't you blame it also on the current state of society here in Los Santos and even San Andreas, that there's so much gun violence that you actually need to beg, in some cases, the government / the police department to get your gun back to be able to defend yourself?
I suppose, just coming back to the right to defend yourself, that's obviously the one reason. We did have to go for a long process, but I'd almost be sitting here and slating the government if we didn't, to be honest. I mean, I can probably go out and buy a gun easier than I can buy a packet of sweets. Did I? No, I followed the process and bought my license, or got my license.
Yeah, which I think is admirable, but would you not prefer a situation, a scenario, or at least a society where there's no guns needed in that case?
I think everyone would, but that's like saying everyone's going to heaven, you know?
Yeah, that's a little
Everyone
bit of
believes
a
in God.
utopia.
All right. Okay. And is there any more revolutionary ideas, Vince, that you're thinking about right now, following your success on the Form C application?
Of course. Because what we're truly missing in Los Santos is a mayor. That's what I've always been saying. You know, you need someone who knows both sides of the city, because if we're realistic, half of the people living in this town have criminal charges, alright? If you want the government working to be a mayor, that's fine, but you're not gonna have like you're not gonna have the knowledge or the people or you understand the lives that 50% of the people have to live. Which I do. I have lived that life, and I have now lived the life of someone who follows the law.
You said that your last charge was purely because of defending yourself. So where does the criminal part come in?
Well, those cops that arrested me, they don't currently work with the LSPD anymore, fortunately. His name was, not sure if you remember him, Brian O'Connor. That guy wasn't very sane in his head, but he didn't really like me. And I suppose that's why he gave me a murder charge.
And in that way, did you also try to file an AA report against him, or did you just let it slide?
I just let it slide because that guy was such a what should I call him? Such an asshole. Yes, I'm not sure we can swear on this podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, that guy was a fucking idiot. And, you know, I don't think PD would have, because at the end of the day, it would be his word against mine, and he was watching from a distance, and he just saw me gun down someone, and not much you can start against that.
Sure. It's also one of the other current states we have, right? Is that people believe that IA reports don't have any power. Do you believe that? Do you believe that the judge, jury, and executioner that PD is right now does that? That it works with the current IA reports that are.
I don't know. It could be something different, but I think generally it's being done pretty well. Of course, it could be better, but I think the people that are doing it right now are doing a great job with the tools that they have. But yeah, it could definitely be better.
In what way? Do you have one of your other revolutionary ideas for the IA system?
You get like a separate system, someone who isn't in PD, like a third party. Because right now, if you file an IA report, it's gonna go to someone in PD as well, or an SD.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like I was talking to Andrea Fallon back when she was still the chief of MD, and we were trying to create a system where the high command of every organization that has their foot in, like that every government organization in the city goes over each other's IA reports. So they basically have a council for IA reports against other company. Would you say that's a good fit, or is that different from what your idea was personally?
I don't think that's gonna work, because that's only gonna. Because what's gonna happen then is, you know, if, for example, LSC is gonna review an IRA report on PD, PD is gonna review an IA report on LSC, they're gonna say, okay, we can do this either way, you know, we can work together, figure this out, and solve them both at the same time, or they're gonna say, yeah, we're gonna drop it all together, because, you know, we don't want to go through all this.
More in a way that the whole council as a whole, where all the high commands together vote on each IA report, if they're interested in this.
It just seems like a lot of time that chair of high command has time for that.
Also, I've never actually submitted an IA report. I've never had the need to, but people I know who have complained about how long it takes, you know. Like a couple of my mates said that I'm just not going to bother because of the time it takes to actually write it up, send it off, and then get a reply. Like if they had to vote on each one, it might just be an excuse to delay a response even more.
Right.
Yeah, I do have to say that it took quite long, because my Form C was denied 2 times. You got it on my.
Under what reasoning?
Well, it's a bit of bureaucracy, so to say. Because the first time I applied on the first day that they released, and they actually changed the questions on the second day. And when they reviewed it, of course, my answers didn't match up with the correct answers because the questions got changed.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked before they reviewed it if I could like resubmit the one because the questions changed. I said, no, you cannot do that. And then I got denied, and then I had to wait again. And then I applied again, and they came up with some crazy theory that I was involved with some gang, which I wasn't, not, obviously. And I had to go to to quite a couple levels until I reached the Assistant Chief of Police, Elena Blake, and she helped me out, and we cleared it all up. Her help. So shout out to Elena Blake.
I also shout out to Elena Blake. She's a fantastic looking woman. She's very helpful.
You say fantastic looking woman?
Yeah.
Okay. No, just to be sure.
It's nice to see, you know, people succeed, especially like women in leadership roles. You don't see it much.
I think there's a lack of women in leadership roles.
Yeah.
Even at this current day.
No, not currently. We're obviously changing a lot now. But previously, it's nice to.
I guess so, yeah. Are you guys satisfied with the current Form C rules, or is there anything that needs to be changed in the application time, or the questions, or the requirements to be able to be eligible?
Well, I think the requirements are, you know, they're pretty tall order, especially if you don't consider your actions when you first come into town. You know, if you fuck up, then you try to apply for Form C. You know, that's a very long way.
Right.
But I mean, personally, I don't really mind it because I can understand why they do it. But I can imagine if someone who hasn't been in the city for such a long time that they might find that unfair.
But that all comes back to responsibility, I guess.
That's definitely true. That's 100% true. And yeah, I mean, I guess the waiting time, because I had to wait like 1.5 months until it got released till I actually got it, especially with all these denials that there were, bureaucracy and false claims. That took me some time, so I mean, I guess they can work on that, but I can also understand that.
Did you actually have to
Form
pay
C.
for it though?
Yeah, but I mean, that's like peanuts. I think.
Is
I
it
think
the
the
same
people who
price?
are yeah, it's 10K.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think the people that apply for Form C, they do have the money because they usually have been around in town for quite a while.
Yeah, because you have been one of the people that have been here for the longest, Vince. I remember seeing you a couple of years ago. Do you think that has changed you? Of course, you've been growing older. Besides that, do you feel that during your time here, during your battle with Don Underwood about the self-proclaimed mayor of Los Santos, do you feel that the times and the state of the city has changed?
Of course it has changed, but you know, change is inevitable.
But it hasn't been changing for the better in that case.
I mean, some parts have and some parts haven't, you know. Speed cameras, for example, they have gotten me in trouble plenty of times.
Do you agree with the speeding cameras?
No.
I mean, as long as they keep it at this number, I'm fine with it. But yeah, as long as they don't get any crazy ideas, we are all good.
Imagine the amount of wildlife that the flashes from them speed cameras scare off. The amount of birds or things.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have read an article that states that speed cameras, you know, they kill wildlife.
That's also something that I've been thinking about, is the fact that you normally have a hunting season, but apparently in San Andreas you can kill whatever animal you see across the road.
I mean, yeah, hunting is not really my type of deal. I mean, I shot some animals, gathered some, but I don't know. We think that's more for the commissioners to answer to.
Not sure, but it's just talking about wildlife. So wait, how do speeding cameras kill wildlife?
You know, when they flash, the birds fly away, man. And like, imagine the amount of birds that flew into buildings because the flash has blinded them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that's
Point.
an
never
actual problem.
thought about that.
Forget the old ladies crossing the road. I mean, when your time's up, your time's up. You got your ticket. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Birds are defenseless.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. Wisely spoken.
So the next petition you're gonna make, Vince, is against speeding cameras killing birds.
No, the next petition is gonna be gives a goddamn mayor. Because currently, I mean, these commissioners, I don't know about them, man.
In what way?
Well, I've heard some things that they do everything just for the publicity. For example, when I was rallying at the pier, they also came to the pier and they were just hanging out with these fishermen just to take a picture, and then they drove off again.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think you heard about it as well, right, Dale?
Yeah. Vince, do you remember when that commissioner nearly hit me as well? And
Oh, yes.
he said he was going for a photo shoot, didn't he, Samuel?
He was going for a photo shoot and he almost killed Dale.
I believe that Samuel Osborne has stepped down as the commissioner right now. Do you think that's has been a good one?
Thank fuck for that. Excuse my friend.
Don't excuse yourself. All right, but I think there's another really good topic we need to talk about, Vince, and that is your self-proclaimed kingdom of Ram Ranch, otherwise known as the LFB Ranch. It's a place of many stories and business, and your horse breeding goes far beyond in this world. They say you have the best horses that there are. What's the secret?
Of course. Well, it's time and patience, and Dale knows his way around the horses, so he takes good care of them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all in the blood.
That's true. You gotta get the true bloods. You gotta feed them well. You gotta take them out, ride them, test them.
Qualifies as a good horse. I guess I have to ask that to Dale in that case, because if he's there.
I suppose anything that's not lame comes from a good bloodline and has a healthy weight.
That's all about the weight.
And the bloodline.
The weight and the bloodline. But you also do like these shows with them, or is
Nah, we only breed them, and the customers they buy them.
the prices for horses are incredibly high? Is it like how is this? Is this generating a lot of cash for you guys?
Of course.
Yep, loads.
Didn't you see the car we pulled up in?
No, I for sure did see the car, and I've seen many of your incredible car collection. But I was wondering where that money came from. But it's all about the breeding horses.
Yeah.
Yep.
All in the livestock. But also, we provide a great sanctuary for birds. They're typically wild and free up there. We don't keep them in captivity. They're just there to, feed and drink and roam free.
And did you naturally find the place after they've been flashed by a speeding camera?
Well, I haven't seen any because when the speed cameras flash, they typically die and you see them in the street.
Have you ever saved them from the street?
No.
Okay, that goes too far for your liking. It's just when they arrive there, okay. Okay, wow, okay. I think that's enough of the bird talk. Vince, explain us more about the fact that people call you the modern day youth Hefner because of some of your modern day youth Hefner.
Oh yes, that guy, that loser. Yeah, I can tell you about that. I think he's a phony, and I think he's a copycat of my lifestyle.
Yeah, because I've read in my research that the Playboy mentioned that his parties are very similar to yours, just with a different kind of audience.
Well, I mean, what you doesn't realize that when you restrict yourself to only one side of life, you miss out on half the fun.
Right. Because we all know the song Ram Ranch that is dedicated to your ranch. I want to go through some of the lyrics if you don't mind me. You okay with that?
Of course.
the song starts with the famous line, 18 naked cowboys in the showers at Ram Ranch. What is
Yeah,
that?
that's correct. That's correct. It is my life quest to finally get the 18 naked cowboys. I think we're now on I think about 10 naked cowboys who want to participate. You know, but 18 is a legendary number you want to have.
Okay, and why 18?
Well, I just like the number 18.
Oh, well, fine. And how did you get to this point where you, well, like, I'm gonna create a situation and a scenario where people can be naked cowboys in the shower? You need a comfortable fence.
Well, Seth, let me tell you something. If you get to my age, you don't have too much time about what other people think about you, alright? You want to enjoy life.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of money I have, I want to spend it on partying and doing crazy shit, you know, exploring things.
So are these 10 naked cowboys, are they also being paid? Or is they all...
Of course.
So there's not people that actually join in for fun?
Well, I mean, they join in for fun, of course, but every performance gets a reward.
And, and how old do the cowboys have to be? Like the 18
Yeah, that
as
doesn't
well,
matter.
That
That doesn't matter. As long as they're of legal age, they're buff, and they're a cowboy. Those are the three.
Sorry, go ahead.
Those are the three main criteria that we have.
Yeah, because the next sentence, and excuse the audience, if you have kids, please cover their ears. But it is big, hard, throbbing cocks wanting to be sucked. How did you get to that lyric?
Yep. I mean, it's just an expression of life.
It is a lot of.
If you face a difficult problem, you know, you just want to go in head first and.
Head first,
no.
Quite literally in that case, isn't it?
Yes.
And how often do you have these kind of parties?
Whenever I find the cowboys being around.
You just hire them through an agency?
Well, I personally source them, and Dale sometimes help me with that as well.
How did you enroll in this business, Dale? Do you also have the same... Because you're not as old as Vince, of course.
No, I don't have the same interest. I just help him out, and just to clarify, you won't see me on stage.
Isn't that hard for, heterosexual men as yourself to be looking for perfect candidates?
I mean, we often have some good people approach us. I don't sort of get too involved in the process. I just direct them to Vin.
And let it be clear that I'm perfectly happy with my beautiful fiance, and we're gonna have a wedding soon. But yeah, sometimes you gotta try something else out.
This is gonna be going on until the day you die.
Of course, sir, until I run out of money.
Because people also pay you to get in.
No.
It's just whoever wants to join, or is it just you enjoying it?
Yeah, it's basically me. Yep.
Okay, I guess.
Want to hear some name of cowboys? Some notable cowboys?
Yeah, sure.
So we got Tony Hench. He's a sheriff at the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Tyrone Cox is like a manager or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he is a buff cowboy as well.
Okay.
We got the Daniels brothers, Lucas and Tom Daniels. Those are
I
some
expect
notable
that, yeah.
cowboy names. I think Cully Fegan was also interested.
Okay, Collie Fagan.
Yeah, I
yes.
think he said he was.
Okay.
And what about the story that Louis Langley was also interested?
Well, I haven't spoken to Louis Langley in a while. I got his phone number though, so I can just call him, but I don't know where he is.
Okay. Any more notable names?
Oh yeah, Sheriff Wallace, of course.
Oh, okay, Sheriff Wallace. Okay.
Yeah, he's a
I
cowboy.
think Assistant Sheriff Pierce Hardy would also be a suitable buff cowboy.
Definitely.
Okay. Why is he suitable in that case?
Oh, he's a pretty tough guy, you know. I've seen his Live Invader videos that he made when he was searching for criminals. I think he's a pretty tough cowboy.
So you would be down for him to be in the show?
Of course.
Do you think that you're basically outing their sexuality right now in this podcast?
No, I mean, I don't think I am. I'm not, I'm not judging their sexuality. I'm just telling people who know how to enjoy life.
Okay, Vince, if you say so. Do you have anything else to say about the Ram Ranch or the famous song lyrics that are there?
Well, are you asking for an invite, Seth?
I'm not asking for an invite. Thanks, though.
Okay, good. Then the invite is arranged. I will text you next time we're gonna have a Ram Ranch.
I greatly appreciate it, I guess. Alright,
You're
guys,
welcome.
if you guys have anything more to say to end it off?
Yes.
Yeah, go.
Like a personal message.
Williams 2020/2021.
You got Weasel News support, Williams. You always
I'll vote and campaign for you. Yeah, final thing from me. I'm going to be going on a campaign to remove the speed cameras, save the bird.
Save the birds.
Alright, I'll get the petition will be up soon.
Yeah.
Alright, so everybody that's listening, if you want to save the birds and follow Dill's campaign to rescue wildlife, make sure to write a petition. And also, Vince, we'll be excited to see you going for campaign.
Of course, you can follow me on Live Invader. I used to post a lot on there. Now I don't. But you can still follow me.
Alright, guys, that was Current State Podcast for this time. We'll hope to see you then.
This episode of the Weasel News Podcast was brought to you by Vince's Vendetta Gun Store in Toledo. Vote for Vince 2020.